Hello YouTube, it is me, Raina. So I'm going to give my personal opinions and thoughts on the original Sana season. This is basically kind of a build up or kind of a countdown or whatever you want to call it to Skam Spain season 4, which will focus on Amira, who is the remake of Sana. So just kind of give myself a refresher on what the season was about, what it was supposed to be about. This kind of a two-parter where in this one I'll cover mainly Sana, considering she is the original. And then in the second part, I will give my overall thoughts on the Italian version, French, and German. So keep posted. All right, so my overall feelings of season 4, even though it starts out really intriguing and you're really in Sana's mind, and we see from her point of view for a good amount in the first half of the season, I will say this season left a lot to be desired. Now, I'm for one, obviously I'm not Muslim. I don't wear anything that signifies my religion in any way. So I'm not, obviously not going to relate to that. But seeing from a point of view of a hijabi wearing Muslim is something that I've never seen before. I never watched before because the representation is so, I'm going to talk about American media here. I'm not sure how it is in other countries, but here in America, when it comes to Muslim representation is slim to none. It's very, very bad. So this season was important for a multitude of reasons. And, you know, the actress who plays Sana is actually Muslim in real life. And, you know, when they were looking for the actress, you know, Julie Andem, who is basically the showrunner and director of the whole series of Skam, you know, was searching high and low for this character, and she found her, and, you know, the rest is history, to be honest. So, but when we get back to the season itself, I feel like a good chunk of Sana's POV is not fully taken into account when it comes to what she is struggling with, when it comes to society as a whole, how they view her, how she views her herself, how her friends view her, how her peers view her, is rarely never taken into consideration. And unfortunately, her season is basically treated as a sequel season to Nora's season. You know, they made a choice of having her paired with Nora for a good amount of the season when it comes to the girl squad. And what they mainly talk about is William. Now, you could say like, oh, well, that kind of parallels her and Yusuf, but not really. Because Yusuf is actually a great guy and a great character, unlike William. But it really doesn't add anything to the story. Now, when it comes to when Sana sees her and Yusuf hang out, and then also her and Yusuf kiss in episode 5, and kind of how she feels this kind of jealousy towards Nora, you could say like, oh, Nora represents the typical, stereotypical, blonde-haired, blue-eyed girl, and Sana, can't be that, kind of like that theme. And I understand what they were trying to go for, but they never said it. I could sense that undertone throughout the whole entire season when it came to Nora. So I understand, but they never had a conversation about it. It was never called out. It was never taken into question. So that was all confusing. And then when it does come to kind of the discrimination that Sana does face, either personally or society-wise, it's really swept under the rug after the kiss. When that big drama happens in episode 5 with not only Yusuf and Nora kissing, but also with the fights with her brothers and her and the other guys, all of that is taken away and it turns into a Pretty Little Liars, and they make Sana become A. It's really weird. The whole social media thing that takes over in episodes 6 and 7 really takes away from the main theme. You could say like, oh, Sana's acting out of anger, but it takes away from the main theme of what she is going through, and just turns it into this, oh, Sana's acting out and Sana's doing this, when that's not the main theme of the season at all. And then somehow it swings back to that in episode 9, and it just feels so disjointed. And obviously, I have to talk about the infamous bench scene that has been debated. I've seen through fandom. And to me, it started off as, okay, we're, having a little debate between Isak and Sana. Okay. But when they had Isak have the last word of saying, like, oh, basically, if you look for trouble, it finds you, I just wholeheartedly disagree with that. Once again, I'm not Muslim. I don't wear, like I said, anything that signifies my religion in any way. But, taking that as like discrimination when it comes to your skin color, comes to your religion or sexuality, people don't look for trouble. There are bigoted people out there. There are racist people out there, especially what's going on now in the world. Even back then when this was premiering back in 2017, Black Lives Matter was still going. All this, what's happening now has been basically at a boiling point. It's been building up over years. So just saying that doesn't really work. Now, granted, yes, I am American. I'm not sure what's going on over there in Norway, but seeing this thing happen worldwide now, it really gives a different perspective on certain things. So, that scene does not age well at all. And I felt like throughout the whole entire season, Sana, she's probably one of the more developed characters throughout all 4 seasons. Even before she gets to her season, she gets a lot of development. And I feel like, Sana would have ended her season the way, how it ended anyway. Not saying that she didn't go through any big change, but it didn't feel like a full-fledged transformation. And I feel like the whole thing with the girl squad was weird. How, even though they were planning a surprise for her, that was still all weird. And then the whole stuff of her brothers and trying to link that with Evan was handled really sloppily. And I understand it was the last season, but just trying to cover all this stuff, tie up so many loose ends when you're dealing with a very important subject matter, and you're giving a season to a character that does not get really 0 to none representation on television, positive, I should say, representation on television, it really undercuts everything and the struggles that, they go through. We see the previous seasons, especially Isak's, how it goes from one instance to another and it goes smoothly and you understand the necessary steps and storyline and storytelling. And I feel like with Sana's season, the storytelling is so thin and the storyline is so thin, it felt like they had to throw in useless drama just to make it quote unquote interesting. There's supposed to be a character story. And even saying all that, I still love Sana as a character, and I love Yusuf, and I love their conversations. It's at some instances that it kind of feels thin, or it kind of feels too little too late in some instances, especially towards the end. It left a lot to be desired, and I just really feel like it let a lot of fans down of really getting into Sana's head and what she was feeling from the first episode to her last episode, not just, halfway there or a quarter there. No, it's from the first to the last. So that's my thoughts on Sana's season. Sorry if that was all over the place. It was just kind of what I thought up of. I will put a link in this description of basically someone's thoughts of all the Sana seasons. It will have OG Sana's in there and gives kind of a more in-depth look. This person is a Muslim hijabi wearing woman, so she can probably give more detail on what they missed when it comes to that aspect. I'm just mainly focusing on story, character, and storyline and storytelling. And like I said, it fell very, very short of that this season. So what are your thoughts on OG season 4? Do you agree or disagree? Do you feel certain storylines fell short? What are your thoughts? And bye, YouTube.